You have overwhelming majority.
Ghanaians have clearly shown that they cannot be taken for granted. It is obvious that NPP has been punished for its poor governance.
And I know that come 2028, we will be in a majority.
Nanado, you walk away as you please.
The Electoral Commission collation we are NPP bedim kunim.
Abusia mame samu akwaba ebiem emma dwumadie so finally Parliament akoseten na eno achi no ensem efiri mu barabusia esawani ensesame ena me catch Speaker of Parliament Alban Babin enafe NPP NDC yebewra ho na fe ensem kra efiri Parliament oba no yede ni nyina aba na fe bibia aye kama NPP awone ko no so womo so aye press conference ama asem asie kire quick one yebesen raho afe so no NDC ama ne ko na so ye President elect John Dramani Mahama ono so so ye ensem bebre ene free ho eba commander boko de
yeah the right boko
baransa na ubewura wonsem mu no
okay
ense we screen so a
yeah
ye the pictures be ato so
of course
we ye nanado na Akuffo Addo ne statue
ha dwen o
ena Ghana for statue ebubu no
ha dwen papa na on say statue we ye din ka bedi hu nkomo wa bra o mu see statue ni wie ye bedi hu nkomo bia e wo takrade efia nkwanta wa bra o ma see hospital bo ho na nanado ekoye renovations upgrade ni ade kakra ho no omuye no omuye statue we e de ka ho but se obeka ni ye pa at the time omu pass statue ni ho ntuma pe e na manfo bi beka se nanado si forma ontu statue ni fa nkwa achem ebua kwa ho no no
I remember
statue ni nko ho ntini enim se ye joke eni se nanado nyansi form pamanfo sha se ebubu statue no na we de omu bubu free ne nan ntini nanado enuru so besi form no no mabubu ne nan na ma ade na to form and now show baby ekoya so must start with the 9 this one bubu ne 9 mi enu a se beto form ade na yara ho sempa you say na na do ankasa no to be told amanfo bi anyi interest bebre woni mu biem
onye sure say onhwe ya se Akuffo Addo ofra konwa no so Ghana fo nkai no
yeah eno de me no ya adwetre say na na do da so ye mampani and the final month eno wo mu ntinka ne memories no da so ye fresh e wo ya adwim yeah, was a nya or drop hard man, but so share these scenarios and in some young can. That means to say one share. Another quarter fear in fear me and son, in fear Naya, will be a kind of people. Bagana, you know, Opa, man, cotton if you say fear now, can. Yeah, one share Ghana for Bessa Bonidian Cassa. Oh, go ha, Nanka Akuffo Addo, you get it. Yeah, and where you Ghana for? Yeah, of course, it's missy. But a main problem is, oh, say, baby, a statue is here. Yeah. Enfutro nkwaan ekwan no adena ye kwa statue esi baby enfutro ekwan no ye nyanye even runabout no kwa no yeah enye papa bi na ye kwa statue we asiso you get it me kwa no na de medwen ne say around baby a ade no won project no won say mo ye de ahye mampani na nimunyam de a e wo say environment ni nyar mu siesie ho say de ye be ya e be hye mampani nimunyam but say o hye mampani nimunyam na odi na kosi mfutrom eno ni asem na mfuturo bono na osibabi a ehonye enya ni munyam papa na wo hye mampani ena temamufo no wo mote wo no obi kwa badwin se yakwan wunyam meye yakwan maye makotam sika twitwi de we di akosi statue you get it yes eno so ka ho bi na be ma amanfo babu statue na hwefom because ehona o mo wo no they are not okay mfuturo oku o mo ekwan ne nye yeni sika ye sika kakra ho ne di sisi statue okay and it is that if you bring the statue down him say at the end be change but very bad say ye be sha say assess niema yen so bufo wo mu kra na waso apoma mu kakra na quick one yen ko na so away from that na enim komo but ye be ko parliament but answer ne be ko ma me ni kan ni komo we mfiri okay enche na story bi start here say security social media any internet so yeah man for didi hu komo bebra kire NDC fo a omo ba be ministers e wo president mama aban answer liki atofosin ase atofosin na for finance minister no on na Judicial na atofosin Judicial amanfo Judicial komo a lot of list apop up e wo abonten na e ba na amanfo so di hu komo pa ne omo man hu omo di wo mu so na omo make course e bisa say list we janiwa na nsem we ba ye chi and a president elect John Dramani Mahama ni office omuso ababonte de krata ba se so who list bia wa bonte se omo and omo be ministers e wo mama be ma botugu na nya no kre sa na omutire mo ma se list bia babonti bia no kre bia anim onye appointment ba kokra na ontwe list bi nto ho se wei mo ene ye ni ministers a oni omo ba be adwuma nti ukona akuhu a na wabo atogwa ebosiri mu kasem
president elect NDC for my elect ba uze NPP na mistake ba ko ne se story bi say a pop up omo ma bontentem
omo twema ne jinsam
but it seems say NDC for no omo straight
na say okaya John Kuma issue ne baye no ya be kan say NPP for should come out na omo clarify something na enka omo members na omo kasa bebre na ntum but omo anye ene wo hene ba mo kasa bebre sa chama untu mu decide say omo kasa ene wo hene ba mo a omo wie no na ade na
jinsam say do say uja ne kwakira wan hwe ya entokokra besi
say e ntokwa beba because obi ho a it is expected some ministerial position until list ne ba say na ne nkrofo ahu a na ne nkrofo na hyase e dwa lie and they should remember say President elect John Dramani Mahama ekaye in the manifesto say our appointed more than 60 ministers nti eno so eka ho bia the pressure e ba pa but away from that
na yenko parliament say wo mo ko sitting no ensam dia si o
achi papa na the right away straight away na yenwo mo parliament after say Abansmani Kensford Babin speaker of parliament or postpone new parliamentary sittings say yanko to about 7 December wie na ye 2 year na ya ba parliament on the 16th of December na fi ya ba to parliamentary sittings any proceedings no abamba ben after sitting ama finally MPs ne koye ekotena ase na asetena ni mo no ene nkomode bebre to dwa na niam esi wa parliament ho de enya asem because na obi a twan se nsem ben ene beto dwa na minority majority ni nsem bebre but finally afanya markings in parliament BBS wo ho a nsem ode to dwa no enya asem ketwa na castle ato forcing enso so adi nkomo bi ho but your videos no hanti yen hwemra ye ba nsem ya sasi awachiri
we afenyo markings and afi ato forcing minim se yemu bebre ho a yetie na yedi kan hwe baran mebe se yen san ko heketua bi mra ntu de wadi kan hwe kwa no a ketua bi yen hwemra na eba enkomodie wachire papa sanse ensem bebre en asisi achi quick one ore hwemra.
The night parliament will be unique and interesting. It would be a contest of ideas between the super NDC majority and the mini-micro NPP minority. Mr. Speaker, what happened on the 7th of December polls was a revolution, the people's revolution, what I call it. It was a revolt against a government that is obstinate, insensitive, high-handed, and dismissive of public opinion. It was a revolt against a government that called people with dissenting views names such as detractors, cynics, naysayers. Mr. Speaker, sometimes they call views of dissenting people as Sambalat and Tobias. Ghanaians have clearly shown that they cannot be taken for granted and that when it matters the most, they will either reward those in office or punish those in office. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is obvious that NPP has been punished for its poor governance, economic mismanagement, obstinacy, greed, state capture, arrogance of power, impunity, disrespect, lawlessness, and persecution of political opponents. Mr. Speaker, the lesson is that what happened to the NPP and the outgoing government is that the political class cannot and should not take the people of Ghana for granted. This calls for introspection on the part of the political class. It is also a call for deep soul searching on the part of those in leadership who ought to have been heard when government engages in acts of impunity, lawlessness, and destruction. To my cherished NDC political party and the incoming government, may we never become like the Akuffo government. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have to be different. We cannot be like the NPP government. We may be guided by the principles of integrity, probity, and accountability. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to do right by the people of Ghana at all times and to champion people-centered policies that genuinely benefit the voter and the ordinary Ghanaian, not the political class and its cronies. Right, Honorable Speaker, indeed, it is finished.
Honorable members, it's now the turn of the Majority Leader, Honorable Ebenezer Afenyo-Markin. You are still my son. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Speaker, now is Alexander Ebenezer.
Sorry, Alexander.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to also welcome you into the House and welcome my colleagues, led by Dr. Judicial Akuffo, back into this honorable chamber. Indeed, it is an established constitutional custom that once in every 4 years, the people of this country are given the opportunity to elect their leaders. First, the President of the Republic, and second, parliamentarians, the people's representatives. On the 7th of December, this mandate was rightfully exercised by the people of Ghana. They did so peacefully, without fear. They have elected a president and members of parliament. It is without doubt that our friends in the NDC have emerged victorious. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the leader of the minority side and his team for such an unprecedented feat. I also congratulate His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama on his election. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia did something very unprecedented. We've never witnessed it in the history of our politics before. Relying on his own internal coalition, at 9 a.m. on Sunday, he publicly acknowledged the outcome of the elections, conceded and congratulated the president-elect, who was yet to be officially declared by the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, such a move by him was very historic and commendable. Today, we are here because of that singular action. Today, we are here because all of us collectively acknowledged that all we have is our democracy. Mr. Speaker, permit me to take us through memory lane. Mr. Speaker, in 1997, after the 1996 elections, the NDC received an overwhelming victory, and the NPP had only 61 in this chamber. It was a 200-member chamber. The NDC was only short of one seat to get the 2/3. But I am happy to say that that supposed mini minority, micro minority, as pronounced by Dr. Judicial Akuffo, emerged victorious in less than in just 4 years because of hard work. They turned the minority into a majority when it came to the 2000 elections. Mr. Speaker, again in 2012, the NPP suffered another defeat, and the NDC had a majority In 2016, another historic feat was achieved by the NPP, where we had overwhelming majority in this chamber of 169 seats. In less than 4 years, we started going back. And by the time the people exercised their mandate again, the 169 had reduced into 137, plus our independent who caucused with us, and we made it to 138. Dr. Forson, I have heard you. You have overwhelming majority. But that majority will start reducing from the 8th of January. And I know that come 2028, we will be in the majority. Already, we are experiencing some encircling gloom. This darkness we are seeing, and looking at your posture, we know that you have promised a lean government. You say less than 40 ministers. And you, the MPs, yes. Mr. Speaker, I know they can't take it. Now that we are coming into minority, be prepared. Be prepared. You see you can't take it. You see you can't take it. Mr. Speaker, even if your flag bearer, who is now president-elect, said 60, we are going to see how many of you will make it. We are going to see. You said 60 ministers and deputy ministers, all inclusive 60. Mr. Speaker, we are going to see how you are going to protect the public purse. We hear from Honorable Setekpe that you cannot implement the free SHS. We await the outcome of your policies. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this incoming government is going to implement this Nkukon Ketenkete policy. The Nkukon Ketenkete is a social intervention program. We are going to welcome it. But you say you are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the port. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Nkukon Ketenkete. We are waiting. Mr. Speaker, these are on a lighter note. But Mr. Speaker, clearly, this is a time for us to reflect, particularly those of us getting into opposition. Indeed, no party can run a perfect government in this country. When you get into government, whilst you are happy to implement your policies, you are likely to make some mistakes. We concede that some mistakes were made. We concede that we couldn't have done everything perfect. The people have spoken, we've accepted it. But Mr. Speaker, the coming days and years will reveal the true colors of this umbrella. And the elephant will be watching keenly in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, this House looks forward to a leadership that will keep us going and keep the lights on in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, let me commend you for the 4 years of your leadership in this House. Mr. Speaker, we may have our disagreements, but it is obvious that members' welfare have been key to your leadership. Nobody can take it away from you. Mr. Speaker, the institutional empowerment you've given to Parliament is equal to none. It's largely because, Mr. Speaker, we had you as a speaker coming from within. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you are being retained or a new person is going to be appointed, but I pray that if they decide, Mr. Speaker, if they sack you, Mr. Speaker, of all that you've done for them, they are going to sack you. Of all that Mr. Speaker has done for you, you are going to sack Mr. Speaker. We will see. Mr. Speaker, if they decide to retain you, I know Parliament is going to benefit. But should they decide to retire you, Mr. Speaker, they can do it. Oh, they can do it. They are unpredictable. They can do it. If they decide to retain you, the happiness of this house will gather further momentum. However, if the new government decides to bring a new speaker, that speaker should come from within. We don't want an outsider. We want somebody from within who would understand us. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, we have some major government business outstanding that I would want to encourage colleagues that within the few days and weeks left, we should do everything possible to deal with these government business so that we can say that it is indeed finished. Mr. Speaker, there are also some important welfare matters that I would want to pledge to my colleagues, that together with my colleague Dr. Akuffo, who by virtue of his position in the transitional arrangement so far, I know he would understand the need to cooperate to ensure the happiness of members. I cannot foresee members being happy to do the rest of government business when we've not dealt with the issues of welfare. Mr. Speaker, these matters must be attended to. Members have projects outstanding in their constituencies. We need to together work and ensure that statutory funds that are outstanding are released so that members can continue their projects, hand them over, especially those who are leaving us. Mr. Speaker, to colleagues who could not make it, there's a better day tomorrow. Do not give up. The Frenchman will say, c'est la vie. This is life. There are good days and bad days. If you lost, get back to the people, understand them, do some research, and I'm quite sure that upon that and reflection, you'll be better prepared for a better day tomorrow. There are some amongst us who lost elections and came back. Go to them, consult them, and engage them. And if you are desirous of remaining in public life, I'm sure you'll make it the next time around. For those of us who have won, let us be mindful of the needs of our people. We should really evaluate, assess, and critically analyze our votes. Those that were coming down, we should know what the people are telling us, so that we'll be better prepared for the next election in terms of the decisions that we will take. Mr. Speaker, with this, I would want to again welcome colleagues and thank also the parliamentary service staff. They've been our silent enablers, encouraging us, supporting us. You know, Mr. Speaker, they make us function and function effectively. To them, I say thank you. We appreciate your work in silence. God will richly bless you for all you do in silence for the benefit of the people's representatives. Mr. Speaker, without more, let me thank you for this opportunity, and I say may God bless this house. Thank you.
Finally.
Yeah.
NDC NPP.
Very interesting. Now, I'm saying, Ghana, ya break a crack.
Now, finally, as a final markings.
Yeah.
Spiritually, no, is it are you okay?
Yeah, since they say, or a majority leader, as pronounced by Right Honorable Aban Babin.
Now, so 2 weeks back.
And now to me, you know, Senya, Yanya Diamano, the other bay, or the bay.
Yeah.
Now, when Nankasan, a very interesting, said, Yako Parliament, and I'm for Bisase, after election, your qua, dear never says Sibim, never got what my boss, near sorry call, and I said, dear BC, and God been so good. Yen peace Nankasa, or many a woman, or may a star big a crowd. Now, winning my dear. There are 2 sides, Nina, very easy, or Margaret. Obian Kontoka, Obian Kashini. They know say at what baby. I was a parliamentary proceedings at Twaso. Now almost pave way for the next parliament. Aside that, a Juma Bebre horse or me. Now, budget ayekano, budget ready, anye inti that favors the next government. And say, O man Timmy Amfa, sa budget, and I was a echo. Now you approve for the first quarter of next year. No, eto what I know dear, a come into the okay or move to my yano in a way a bit favor woman. Now, aside that, two parties nyina agree because I was nkomodie na before so mo ba sitting no a lot of nkomo na cost behind the scene
barana na NDC for no afedo man kotena majority o
well on say earlier no eye abambabin and a declare seat vacant speaker enye NDC for
okay
enti speaker na also ka kire o mo say mun ko majority and mun ko minority and antokwa bebre ba ya na yenko sitting
abambabin declare no na automatically no NDC for no and majority
yes
do omu de omu ko no omu nim so omu na majority na ka say NPP for ne ba na speaker no e ka so NDC for
mon so
ko mo da bere NPP for na ama sana ko ye
ya sana de ko enti after that no afi no mako sitting biem and omu ko sitting no abambabin address afanyoma kins no o yusu majority leader de ma no it meaning say majority leader no wajamu di ama no o di ama na ono no majority leader majority leader na the most interesting thing is say adiba kwa mi hu ya mahu say ama NDC for no atofo sim ampre wo mu huni now two caucus ni nyina nim say ya to abawi enyema bebre ho ma ya they need to finalize else mo finalize it to ho na almost stamp so and sign a next parliament no aba be she dwuma se so man finalize ya adwuma o mu ye nyina no ansi the next parliament will struggle omo hu ba bia mo ye si ye and o ma to so fi ho and they have bills any businesses also mo ye in this case obi abegu no ho because one NPP for nim said there are businesses ya anya emwa aside that omo be preparation omo de be swear in next parliament next president outgoing parliament when be settle omo ministers near the other and aside that e ye omo anso ne ye ka omo ho asemi settlement no omo ho na eko nti e ho ne de obi abeba from said e be ya e be call normal and on the part of so wo hwe NDC MPs so they know say at this stage abamba ben kase afanyoma kese majority leader na mo se mo so mo nsa antiase mo ne betwe manso ne be konebra mo hia kwan bia so de adwuma because president elect edin ka say adwuma ne time ni ho nti ntempa no yi ni transition team nti it's up to mo so mo say mo be speed up
and afanyoma kese kwa no sa transition team no o kan ho bi ntu sa ko ye say
ya ato force ya o kan ho bi unim say de mo pentem afa nti e wo say go niam straight away
okay na moko ai afanyoma kese say ne kasam no 2028 almost say about take over almost say about G2 na free NDC nsem or something no
say edruba bia you look into the eyes of your opponent na say wo kasa ho a e say wo scared no woni obi kokko na onkrofo gina wachi na woni yayi say osahene woni be ma yaji udi na wo opponent gina wanim nti wontimi nkasa also wo bo opponent ni kuma ne hu say e ko na wo ko ya wo tetoye no it doesn't make it the end of your life
na no betumasi
adwuma ne e di madin ka say the first thing else be target yourself gabo no and also muklusu in 2016 gabo MPP di ma NDC no NDC decided to close the gap in 2020 nti omo close my so tey omo ti more than half of you so and afed there omo year stable and omo be over 10 ade ni nyina in this case MPP gabo no esopa now disadvantage ni say opponent in dey be kita all the resources e dey ba be adwuma nti mpaye mpo na wo bo say obi be ka say ye mompa so obi mfeli dey but o ye MPP and MPP pania obobom person this in feel that is how it is sana politics it here and sana monsuma dwuma dia mo be na ba be kan no ho because MPP pa omomre omo ho ase enkan sem denture Ghana forces na NDC entimi perform MPP will still stay in opposition
yes and there NDC for no omo MPs no so omo ba na omo be ya dwuma and at this time no ase MPs no omo ni be da ho because there ye NPP for no now we NDC MP na oba no amu ani anahwa
of course
the same thing na Ghana for Sunday be yo
yes pepe ntino omunim say they need to protect seats ni nyina no as presidential seat no with adwuma enye maf
and MPP for so etifie no omo be hye niema
of course
omo be fast strategies 28 omo Sunday be seat ni bi back
of course
it is one adwuma
onye adwuma omo beje na no dey truth told ya twa ma say koye adwuma nti ukọ na wa meet expectation you lose the seat obi antie sesa nti afanyama kensensem a oka no no kre the first thing is say adwuma na wo mo party no that is the first thing they should do.
Yeah.
The second thing is say they should come down to the people.
Oh you sure say MPP for no men can say oma sache oma because the way I know musi kasa no Ghana for mafia obono ko be this time omo call parliament no bi tisa afenyo market ini se okasa sei so obrɛ ho ase na 28 Ghana for hu omo mobo but then the way I see kasa na se still na no wa man meti so
well say stage na ya dru no akokodru stage bia o man ni ani saa ade ne se nipa no onim adwuma but obuade emre bi na wo ho but in this case so oma oya homaso a ombe you afi honamum the first thing that should come to your mind is say adwuma de ma oye ne sen nti afanya markings de na okasa he is talking a whole lot but kasa no for ni so because they see no they should come down na a form no obaba no omo align omo ho with a form for
but then sa ilevi niama na no obubo so say the okasa NDC for kasa omo ba ombe no you can say at once by force.
At once by force.
Omo me ni nyina. Omo me omo the pressure be si omo
so say NDC for the social intervention bi ba won say no oka say nkokon ketenkete na social intervention wo di yi brief nkrofo kon nti wo be hia sika na wo di aye won so be twa taxes be brief na wo twa mu no wo be fa sika wo na wo di aye
no ni asem
anti omo so time to ko mo ta kire nti ha na me kire mu say obi en ho bom paye ma ne tamfo say aban bi say on faili but to MPP pania you will pray say ade ne be ye diama NDC for
anasan kokon ketenkete ne de say aban prekwa na onkofa omani sika mfa machine no so diama private sectors ye wa mon for escafo bebre ho ha o ka say omon for musika emra mmehye business ni mu a they will do
anti no
omo do musika no eto kokon ketenkete no omo de aban di mu e de ama temamufo no
a very simple. Private investors buy but also what na dwene anko na dwene say aban ni kofa sika every aban futu
say enya bibia na ekwa akogye bosia de abaye o enya bibia na de o mine tax ayo niam bi wo ha yanka say resource ni use
obe crack your brains ma wa dwene no enya adwuma
na de ntini yesi de o mine ma say kasa de anka ye tie nyina nke betimi
mine say ne ya sori ne say ya besesi hospital ani akogye bosia a school for na duane as school feeding ni akwaje bosia
akwaje
ye hia chok ni akwaje bosia
tax ye jeje tax na say na wo ho na ye de akwaje
that is it say basa dia ankobi abetima ranti these are certain things ebe me hu omo a omo betima ye adwuma but and omo ntimi nya adwuma
de ebe me hu say o a good president ne say sikani ho ye nkwaje bosia de wo man mu no wan kasa fa kwan bi so a ye de betimi enya sika de ye tutimi ye say no na chaw say o ye leader
say ye manager nti company and so man ye wadwuma no wabie how to run your company ummoka na company ningu eno na ye o man no
na
it's up to them
doctor and say doctor Atawusu
okay
e wa Ashanti region
okay
na ni bere no also on the be fan toast sir 24 economy no
or the ne de be call tomato side
yes sir or your private sector the tomato no oba be produce bi ono ekogye nsase no na oni aban na kan bom no maye
okay na kire se omo produce ntosi ne ba
you get it
na odi omo beton omo ton de omo di gu eyam aye no tomato paste no na omo ye na e market na kire se 247
yes the case aban no kwa niska ono private sector no obetimi ni aban na enhihye no ma say
aban no bet the taxes so the amount and eba so ono so benya sika bebre very interesting we need more people omo wo sika they will invest in our mining economy no say the economy no be very stable interesting but say atofo sini afanya markets dey esi ano yakwa parliament for send there banta obia make sure say oba humiliate ni nyonko
na
and part of it
before no say my press conference say and some no dey atuja pa o
before say be ko no and say after say to abai wie MPP mpanifo enti wo mo ho ase na eniema bebre ho a omo susu se ankoyie amfa ma wo mo kra enu ntoma ba abonten abaye sentrefo nhia bu omo aka nsempa omo tirem se nkonya bi ho a omo nte ase but your video no a very short one ye hwe wi a nkomo wa kire
quick one yenko chensama MPP for no wo mo di tu dwa minim se nsa videos na ya na nipa bebre dika ahye but then for say ebi mo ha na omunyanya video ni bi nhwe nti yensan kohwemra ye ba ensem a wachi no e chen de atudwa
ye I award the new patriotic party and adekonti ene mo and central for no ehia ye the tenten ene ne tete ane say your constituencies bi wo ha NPP based on yaye coalition ane yaye ni edinkunim ewo ho and after so pin sheeter yekoto aba electoral commission edema political parties no yekika ni nya bom no ni edinkunim ofa constituencies ni nyina baby et say Ablekumanov o chef vosa NPP nya awa Ablekumanov aye 34,613 na NDC candidates esu nya 34,199 HS ye candidate friend honorable Nana Equia Ousefie no edinkunim with 414 votes. So we Ablekumanov everywhere. Over Tema Central so o share your results are near quality based on pin sheeter electoral commission na de man ya. O who said your candidate a year forcing enya 18,870 and NDC candidate no enya 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North Naba Okaikwe Central and also yera Patribuama our yemra shebedwani wo ho ono so o collecting the results in area obo who said MPP candidate no enya 20,229 NDC candidate nya 18,783 to show vote difference na wo na 1,446 vote difference na ka 3 polling stations and yes kan NDC for no amping just all kinds of 3 polling station votes no crabuma still your candidate and edin kunim ewo ho oba bebe to say domain kwabenya also so NDC for no 2 trasem ne basabasa ko ho no omantima amboa ma collation na ese koso odomain kwabenya eno so ankoso ewo ho oba bebe to say for north constituency o kan ye pin sheet de o nya boma ye candidate eye nanajima Eric nanajima prempe enya 20,353 as against NDC candidate we nya 20,232 to shoma vote difference no 121 vote difference oba be to say Obwas East MPP na edin kunim ho vote MPP candidate na ye 18,558 as against NDC candidate we nya 18,539 and no electoral commission we bibia no quality results na wie na so NDC for macho man for to trasem ho e share electoral commission ye candidate say results MPP enya no ye fa MPP dey ma NDC ne fa NDC dey ma MPP a mo dey se kan ni tu esi so say obewu na so beko parliament dey na ope and o tintim ye candidate ninsa o ye no free afa north south west and so ye candidate o share votes a wonya ye na 16,058 and NDC candidate na 16,000 ye candidate na 16,058 and NDC candidate na 15,372 and o share vote margin the BTN this na 686 votes and so NDC for 2 trasams ano o ma electoral commission etimi an collect results na wie over Techiman South so honorable Martin Kokweje Mensa Kosa no dinkunim o sa constituency wo a votes are near quality unya 46,468 as against NDC candidate unya 43,365 votes and so said the NDC 4 year to try some or Kaikwe Central afano southwest and afano south afano north no sa no me call ha Techiman South intimin kan wi in sawan adroje so the same issue and the course so ewo ho And no crowd there said you are friend of marking, majority leader kind, no. You could share what Tessano, now can say electoral commission at twice meet me can we. NDC the patapasem to 12 sa master exercise no am young kwanku wi. Now about I will win constituency. Also so electoral commission start to carry results no. Yeah sure, what me say figures be what polling station be what or more than figures no. And then also so yeah call electoral commission say or honor results no so as a moment you call as a party so you go so a now for constituency be to sell to whom Fantia North any apatia and nam say na bambo any sa constituency one am say the call region bambo hono ya de call Tesano police training school hono asunde wo ho ntietimi quality ni nyina ye wie no ampa say the NPP ye kan ye dim kunim e osuhum apatia na Fantia North ye say baby aba bedru no ye say electoral commission say aka standing constituency sir yen kan wie ya eso wo hwe eme ka ye say ye IGP ewura dampare o hyeyebo say abato ebetu na ma asundua abam na normal ekoso no nesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gina ho police ntimi nya hwe na omo ye tutu asem ho ti ye say ne say bambo bi eso de ma electoral commission say be ya electoral commission ebetima ye omo adwuma wie no say bambo de fa ma electoral commission no nya say adwuma obeti say NDC fo kan on fa me say NPP yes ye wini en court ye nyam du baby yes ye court if the electoral commission on quality results in we en gazette here enu ntibaka so be nyina say court ye nyam we collation dey say ye collation we na ogidie say electoral commission ye collation we a NPP e bedin kunim all sa constituencies enti na frame en no ye da mu nyina amase.
Oh, very interesting. Now idea we know one thing we should know clearly say a very good say always you address the public. Now amount for people stand very important.
Okay, here's the case. I say Yakobu Baba. Na say one to Wasia. Eh funny de ko.
Well, Yakobu Baba no one to Wasia de court.
Na nyam bi before na chair court.
Yeah, in 2020. Yeah, two abawie yeah some of the parliamentary seats na NDC for Tiasia. Mama for to my south any example.
Okay.
NDC team led by lawyer Haruna Idrusu and the NDC for na MPs na nim. And the electoral commission catch said they cannot recollect the results after declaration. Say o twa my declare via and to sign and kind money biem at the time I yen declare no. E betima kind impredudo bi a wo pe assassin imprebi ape but o my declare we say we na awene a wo hia bibi age say the court. Nti the amount for can say in this case some of the seats are already declared, you know. MPP in pen for no fast, I mean, court.
Anyway, I think saying for high court now.
A high court. And a very simple. Was the main tears and said, with said your Moka said precedence. Now, at the time of more addressing, Omoka said precedent, a BSC that said, and electoral commissioner, what Papa for a time, they overturned a seat. But some precedent in an amount for because a similar to Abambaben, a declare seats be vacant because not around my professor. And so I a bidder until on declare vacant here. Court to see there be court needs to interpret it, court needs to sit on that case. Until assembly very simple. Emrane say a declare seat now want to take it to court. Until many or more Mokas and Bay again said the Bay MPP penny for no. Omo fans no so akuma beba from na asumdwe beba na fe o man so benya a peace of mind no asome they should take it to the high court.
Okay yan hwa de bi wo ha sei aya na ka se court no am before no asoa omo nkrofo na akukuo nti se bibisi na de court a ye bedi atia am before na nkasa da besa anwe ne
okay
ana akwakobu atia omo a omo ntimi fan court onye sure so se omo hu se NDC for na take over.
Okay.
And they say, "Omo de court says here, judges now omo ho no. Enye possible say omo di amon because judges now who say NDC for na be take over nti. So omo ko no omo ko di asam na MPP for a. Onhwe na ai mahama.
Yeah.
Aba be yi judges na fi o. Ti bia judge bia ampe ne ho asem. Ti mo de ba, wanhwe ya mini mamu. Di no omo so omo de be court.
Well, a point blank.
Ti bia omo judges no omo appoint omo no.
Omo say slow omo.
Di baby anema ko.
A point blank assembly nyina no because Obianim say NDC enya a lot of seats and they have power to do a lot of things. Nti no likely President Mahama oba appointed new chief justice until they will take control any nyema bebre e judicial service the wom say e ye body de ho de but they will have hand in it nti obi e wo ho na bia e ya de a onya de e be go against the incoming government no nti say wo de kwa omuhwe mu din na o case no nya de a etos mu abruso a onfiu because e be cause problem ama nti it is they will forget you eno na ma MP before any person be court now the next thing I mean dwene say onim say wo genuine pink sheet ya unkoye fake pink sheet na ye genuine one na enwa bi ene wo opponent no ho enwa bi ne wo electoral commission for no ho why don't you send pink sheet to court na ye koye cross examination e wo court ho na both parties no to say in 2012 ye no 2013 ye to about 2012 obi abefa the pink sheet ye bo police station we ya obi a lawyer befa pink sheet na ya say pink sheet ni original na ya results na wo so no ye hwia na ye cross check ni nyina hwie e cross examination hwia we add up the numbers together na ya head mo hwie ni doses no e very simple nti am saying say bia some of the pink sheets no enye the original one enu ntina o me decide say ade no enye court e na o me de be call no but say wo tira ho na nipa ni sai hwia you don't have any option a court and a court.
Okay.
It's up to MPP and penny for say they take a bold decision now on Fanko court.
Okay. Ansana Ebekono.
Okay.
As a potential flag bearer 2028.
Yeah.
As a NDC for no Edunko Moharona Idrusu.
Yeah.
As on also could dim Komobi. Na as a common was among for say only Ukuje to Blackwa 2028. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm say me tisa nkomo ne.
Omo say mahama e frizua.
Omo consider Haruna Idrusu no Ukuje
to Blackwa.
Well,
Sana man for ka.
Omo me no your people's favorite.
Okay.
Omo eye independent personality omo kind this for no.
Okay.
So omo hwe this party no ma. Omo bom penfo me no din.
Okay.
But amanfo foforo bi onipa ba ko me no bia e bi omo bom din. Spogabra bon Joshua Labi.
Omo nyina hye ho.
We mu me no na am say amanfo di no omo but very interesting and so omo nyina obi a build na ho.
Okay.
But emre ne nkrabia
ene be che yenko tie no mra anso de nsem bia tudwa na nsem no emu ohu pa quick one ketwa bi yenche mra na eba commander be san ehu adwuma.
Thank you for I think that we owe the Ghanaian people a debt of gratitude for standing strong and firm with Excellency John Dramani Mahama and having faith and confidence in his return to the presidency. It's my trust and prayer that he will not disappoint the Ghanaian people. At least he would avoid the arrogance of the new patriotic party. So be sure that President Mahama will run a government with ministers who would be humble, who will uphold humility as a hallmark and requirement of the president. President Mahama will also avoid abuse of the office with impunity. So the emergence of John Dramani Mahama marks an end to impunity. I won't listen to anybody. I'll do as I please. Nanado, you walk away as you please. So is the Ghanaian people telling him. And I've seen many of you question whether President Mahama can run a lean government or not. It's a pledge he made to the Ghanaian people that he will protect the public purse. A true meaning of the public purse would be to downsize government. He intends to run a government with 60 ministers. That's very, very doable. I foresee him run a government with 23 ministries, so 23 ministers, some 19 cabinet ministers and their deputies, and some 16 regional ministers. Gives you some mathematics of 54 to 58 ministries. So it is. Have their deputies. Even current NPP regional ministers have no deputies. What I'm aware is that President Mahama will run a government of 60 ministers. That he would honor as his word to the Ghanaian people. And for him, it is protecting the public purse and preserving public resources, which otherwise would have gone into salaries, facilities, and privileges of ministers. He's saving that money in the name of the Republic and in the name of fiscal prudence.
Well, Commander.
Yeah, Director.
Haruna Idrusu.
Yeah.
What a kitwabina enquiry.
Well, very interesting. Say, Nkoma ODD say, you're born a tough idea. em say or term say NDC as a party omo de Ghana for kapa
Ghana for the omo de ka
say that there omo obi also
because the Ghana for ya mo no
ebi si da na odin ko na wo kyerem say expectation dey very huge but ogidie and say yen mpaibo say President Mahama on disappointed Ghana for say gidie amanfo nya no eso na aside that or say one interesting thing cry say ogidie sonko say President Mahama any ministers omo be bro mo ase omo mom ho so say na addo say de na ban no esi ekoye
and they say the Ghana for ya man we wa me bro ho ase na wa nya adwuma maya okromoti ne kura yo
no dey say
e be say de adwuma
no dey very logic also wuhunu say to me no enya wodia e ya man for de omo de man for very short time when control ya omo be je omo de dia mo bi foforo
na unu say omo de Ghana for ka
of course NDC the Ghana for ka didn't omo ne ka the man NDC for the Ghana for ka number 1 ni NDC for ka try say oman baby a ekọ no enkoyie now yemma omo the opportunity na omo change ni ma they want to reset Ghana and Ghana for jitum say okay some person will reset Ghana we will give you the chance chance na Ghana for the mom na nya chance kiko omo di bibia wo oman ni bia mom straight away everything to me ni nyina omo dey account say monyi ya resources monyi ya bibia nyi ya to me ni nyina collectively na mom fan kosi sanema nti eno no you can see say you will not go to parliament and struggle say mama ni NDC person mu implement bibia omo ntim fifire very easy they can do it omo mre nti say you have opportunity say free wupem ye adwuma on your comfortable zone na ye adwuma comfortably feel very comfortable e was nipa na o ma o say opportunity no other than because this is the biggest platform ubenya o Ghana ha platform bia ni Ghana bia ma ubenya say de mampani ama ni ama 2/3 of parliament e de ka mampani akonya no and you deserve so mo bo Ghana fo nyina aba so and this for ade o mbetimi de ada Ghana fa senya o ma no they know it e ye adwuma say what do no Ebedasia, it doesn't change anything after 4 years. Omo be 20 ma djuma enya sida. Thanksgiving no grow bia ususu say grow we ade we no mo like no. Kwa yes ade no e fa ye nase e ma kru no. Very simple.
Anna the return of President-elect John Dramani Mahama. Amanfo nya gidie kese wo no mu. Nti no eni so omo be disappoint Ghana for.
Of course.
And the ministers no.
Of course.
How say Akuffo addo ni ministers na omo dos no do na man for complain
na do de no kra de na nwanwan se na do ne ba me kra omo promise se number of ministers ya wo man no mbete so yenim de ba ye na omo san ashutu number ne kosoro everything and most of the time say politician promise ya most of Ghanaians doesn't want to believe it because obeka ne ochina na wasasa no so ye ne sa enyegie that is the problem Ghana for but say say baby ye dream assembly nyina ne say ministers no kre ye nte so a lot of promises are what share no make sure say ubedi ubose no so and say 10 ministers no so unim say onemi ni ministers na eswati hwi about 60 or less said your kind na amount for gidi no munya no e be sha asa akosoro these are certain things here you can convince people with sani mawi
arrogance of power nana do dan Akuffo addo levy Ghana for so mompe me de beba betting tax Ghana for so mompe also minie tina Akuffo addo oni eni nkomo ontie ye di haro na idrusu chese Mahama betie dia ye he no
na eno no always ye de share Akuffo addo pa na metie me gitum sampa yen sam fan hye nsa fa biemu hye ne biem because etoda ye kan ye se NPP for batuni madie NPP for mpani for ntimi nkoka se ade ache ye yi kanu for ata free ho no se minister bi akodi nsem hunu na wo se yi ni free ho because waye akomaso a NPP mpani for ntimi nkoyi ni free ho it takes nanado so nyina ade na abaye nti NPP problems nya no kora ni nyamye nim nie 90% of it nanado ne koso ade no onye de na abeka okono se menya it doesn't have anything to do obeja ne ho akọ nti eno de ewom se ye de saade no exception at 1 NPP for no so and I believe a faba bi so eye no kre but nanado ene cause problem ne kase
commander ena mo tene kan no quick one de musi by the way ye be sa ba sisi ye ye ko ye be sa ba sisi ye ba ye ne abigije ena ebeba ya kraifo nyina